Now with The Bachelor, speaking about the show's issues with race and host Chris Harrison's comments. Matt James calling those words, quote, troubling and painful. So TJ, tell us more about it.
Okay, well, you know what else he said? He said that the Bachelor franchise has fallen short for years on issues of race. He's breaking his silence. He did it just hours before the new episode of The Bachelor aired last night, and while the producers of the show remain silent about the racial controversy. You can hear it in Matt James' statement, his frustration, and that there's plenty of disappointment to go around.
The first ever black bachelor in the 20-year history of the show is now openly criticizing the Bachelor franchise on the issue of race. Matt James calls the past few weeks some of the most challenging of his life, speaking for the first time about the controversy surrounding contestant Rachael Kirkconnell and host Chris Harrison. Writing on Instagram just before last night's episode, "It has been devastating and heartbreaking, to put it bluntly." Kirkconnell,
Rachel,
now in the final three, apologized after she had liked photos with the Confederate flag in them, and after pictures of her at an antebellum-themed college party 3 years ago recently went viral. James overnight described those pictures as incredibly disappointing. Harrison immediately came to her defense.
It's not a good look.
No, it's not a good, well, Rachel, is it a good look in 2018 or is it not a good look in 2021?
Characterizing Kirkconnell as a victim of the, quote, woke police in an interview with Rachel Lindsay, who in 2017 was the first ever black bachelorette.
It's
Because
not
there's
a
a big
good
difference.
look ever, because she's celebrating the old South. If I went to that party, what would I represent at that party?
My guess, these girls got dressed up and went to a party and had a great time. They were 18 years old. Now, does that make it okay? I don't know, Rachel, you tell me. But where is this lens we're holding up? And was that lens available? And were we all looking through it in 2018?
Harrison later apologized and announced he's stepping aside from the franchise for a period of time. But James writes, Chris's failure to receive and understand the emotional labor that my friend Rachel Lindsay was taking on by graciously and patiently explaining the racist history of the antebellum South was troubling and painful to watch. It was a clear reflection of a much larger issue that the Bachelor franchise has fallen short on addressing adequately for years. James' post was applauded by Rachel Lindsay and other stars of Bachelor Nation, including Andy Dorfman, Caitlin Bristow, and Tayshia Adams. The franchise has long dealt with criticism for a lack of diversity among its leads and contestants, and has even faced a class action lawsuit that claimed the show discriminates against people of color.
I think what's hard is we are all linked and attached to this franchise. And you don't want to be attached to something that seems to be so problematic when there seems to be so much that needs to still be done.
James says he's now been pushed to reevaluate and process what my experience on The Bachelor represents, saying, "I'll continue to process this experience and you will hear more from me in the end."
He goes on to say, guys, in his statement that he wants this to spark conversation, and this is a history, this antebellum history, that people should understand. And some don't understand that an antebellum party can represent and glorify the same thing as a Confederate flag to a lot of people. And so if that sparks the conversation and moves it forward, then fine. Now, as far as the episodes go, Chris Harrison, of course, these were taped months ago, so he will continue to be a part of the show as it continues, but the show has not made a statement during the episodes that air live so far.
And can we say again how Rachel Lindsay, how well she handled that, and when Chris Harrison was being so dismissive? I think it's not just what he said, but the manner in which he was saying it that was quite disturbing to many.
And she brought it home by saying, you went to that party, you could go. What if I went, Rachel Lindsay, to that party? What would I be? And you put it in that context, and maybe it brought it home for some people who maybe didn't understand. So the conversations continue, and The Bachelor is helping us in this racial reckoning, as they call it, but move forward possibly.
And Matt James, his statement was right on point, too. All right. Thank you, TJ.
You got it, guys.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.